channel, Diva Kind. Alright guys, so today we're going to be doing a little bit of a different video, and we'll call it Cooking with Dee. Alright guys, so every year around Christmas time, I do this really delicious recipe called stuffed mushrooms, and I'd like to share that recipe with you guys today. So the first thing you're going to do is I'm going to give you a list of the ingredients. I'll put a picture of it here, and you guys can either stop the video and jot it down and then come back and we'll get started. Okay guys, you guys ready to get started? Okay, first things first, go to your kitchen and set it to bake at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. So there we go, 425, press start. And it should start to preheat. That's the first thing you want to do, is preheat your oven so it's ready when your stuffed mushrooms are ready. One of the other things you want to do is get a pan that looks something like this and line it with aluminum foil. Alright guys, so that's step one. Guys, I got all the ingredients you're going to need here all prepared and ready to go. So right now I'm just going to talk about each item just so you know what you're working with. Alright, so first ingredient we're going to use, guys, is French bread. A little known trick is if you leave French bread out overnight, it'll become hard and crusty, and you kind of want that because we're going to be using some ingredients that are liquid, so when you mix them together, the bread will be able to absorb those liquids without becoming soggy. So just remember that little trick. Okay, so next we're going to use, I got double cheddar and Italiano cheese in here. I kind of mixed the two because I really love cheese. And so we got a nice blend going on here. Okay, so next we have is Italian spice. It is a really nice blend for this recipe. Next we got just regular breadcrumbs. Nothing special about them, just regular is what you need. Next we have cilantro. It's a very strong, powerful smell to it, and it kind of looks like this, and it's great for this recipe. Next we just have some olive oil, and we have some salt and some ground pepper. And here we have some onion powder and herb and spice dipping sauce, or dipping. It's like a chip dip, but it's herb and spice. And then we have garlic powder and one egg and curly parsley. And it looks like that. And then we're going to use some green onion, looks like that, and some brown mushrooms. I have a few bowls of them. And then the last two, I got some mild Italian sausage. Some people can use hot Italian sausage, but I went with mild just because some people don't like spicy in my family. And breakfast sausage. So all those are the ingredients you're gonna need to create this recipe. Okay guys, so we're gonna get into the second step with the mushrooms. I've already done this, so all you have to do is get them under some cold water and rinse them really well, and then take them out and get a paper towel, just put them like that and pat them dry. And the reason for this is because most of the time mushrooms will come with, you know, a whole bunch of like dirt on them and stuff, and you want to have them nice and clean to be ready to eat, right? Okay, so after you're done doing that, you're going to go with step 3, which we're going to take, a mushroom again, and we're going to get rid of the stem. And we're just going to wiggle it out a little bit like this, pull, and there you go. You got an empty cavity, and you'll be ready to stuff with your stuffing. So there's one. And I'll just throw it again. There's the stem there. Just wiggle it and pull. And there you go. Pretty easy. It's not hard at all. Okay, and one more time. Wiggle, wiggle, pull. There we go. Cavity ready. So that will be, that's step 3. So I'm just going to finish the rest of them now. Okay guys, so we got our mushrooms all ready and destemmed. Okay guys, so we're going to go to step 4 now. And we got a large bowl here and a spatula. And we're just going to put all these mushrooms in the bowl. Like so. Got a lot of mushrooms here. Alright, there we go. And now we're just going to add olive oil to it. There we go. And some salt. There we go. And pepper. There. And now we're just going to mix it around. Just so it gets that nice flavor. Salt, pepper, oil. Very simple. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Okay. There. Now it's all blended on the mushrooms. Okay guys, we're going to move to step 5 now. So put your mushrooms aside and grab your French bread, and we're just going to cut it into really tiny cubes. There we go. See, it's really crusty because I left it out overnight. So I'm just going to show you. Yeah, just careful with your knife. There we go. Into little little cubes. If you're a younger viewer, please get a parent to help you or someone older just to make sure you're safe, okay? There we go, into tiny chunks. There we go. So I'm just gonna finish up with the rest of the bread and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm done cutting up the bread into tiny pieces. This is what it looks like. We're still on step 5, but now we're going to work with the rest of the ingredients. So put your bread aside for a second. And now we're just going to cut some onion. And I use scissors for this. Just going to cut them into tiny pieces as well. I love the smell of fresh onion. Green onion. There we go. There. Alrighty. So now I got all my onion cut, and I'm just going to place it with the French bread. There we are. Ooh, hurts the eyes a bit, guys. When you're cutting onions, sometimes your eyes might get a little irritated. Alright, just mix that around. And then we're going to put the Italian spice in. That smells really good too. And the onion powder. And the garlic powder. There we go. And we're going to use 1 egg. Okay? Yes, like that, raw. And okay, so we're gonna cut up some of the parsley because it's kind of big, and you want to get it as small as possible to fit in those tiny mushroom pockets. So there we go. Parsley all chopped up. It smells wonderful. And the same with the cilantro. Just gonna chop it up. There we go. That smells good too. There we are. And now we're going to add the herb and spice dip as well. Okay. I'm going to use my spatula just to get the parts on the bottom. I like to use all my ingredients as much as possible. There we go. And this is what it's going to look like, kind of. There's your mixture. It's going to be going into the mushrooms. Okay, so we're just going to mix that around. Make sure you get that egg mixed in real well. It helps, the egg helps everything stick together. Just going to mix this. Okay, so I'm going to keep mixing this and I'll be back. Okay guys, so I've mixed it all together. I'm really sorry, but I forgot to say add some more breadcrumbs, just the regular breadcrumbs I talked about. Just going to put a little bit of that in there too. Totally forgot about them. Okay, and then I'm just going to mix that in too. Just to dry it up a bit. Like, it's not that moist anyway. But sometimes, depending on how dry your French bread is, breadcrumbs just give it an extra bit of texture, dry texture. And by the way, for all my hot sauce lovers, this recipe is really great with whatever hot sauce you like. Even if you like a mild hot sauce, just to give it a kick. But I'm not putting hot sauce, like I said before, because some people in my family are just can't stand the hot, not even a bit, not even a little heat. So just letting you know, you can put your own bit of flair to your dressing if you want, your stuffing. And there we go, that's what it looks like. So now we're done with step 5. We're going to put our stuffing aside, right beside our mushrooms. And next we're going to work with our sausages. Oh, but first we're going to put this in the fridge just to appreciate and taste. So I'm going to go do that. Alright guys, so I just finished putting the mixture into the fridge, and now we're going to go to the next step, which is step 7. Okay, just got to remember which number I'm on. We're going to be working with the Italian sausage and the breakfast sausages. So I'm going to take one of the Italian sausages and we're just going to cut it. Sometimes it's easier to stand when I'm doing this, but here we go. And you want to get them into small chunks, like so. It's kind of sticking to my knife here. Okay. There we go. So now they're kind of into small chunks. Same with the breakfast sausages. Again, be careful with your knife. young ones, please get some help from your parents if you're doing this. Just a friendly reminder. Okay. So now they're in just really small chunks, so that it'll fit in the cavities. And I'm gonna finish the rest of them, and I'll come back. All right, so we got our meat all chopped up. Just a little tip that I kind of noticed while I was cutting. I was using my regular knife that I use, and it was just kind of more of a mess for me anyway. So I started using the meat scissors, and it's just a cleaner cut, and it's just a little bit easier for me. So just thought I'd share that tip if maybe it's easier for you, if you have, meat scissors. So now that we're all done, chopped up, we're gonna move to the kitchen and start cooking this meat. All right, so we're gonna continue with step 7. We're now in the kitchen. You guys gotta get yourself a nice big frying pan. And we got the meat ready and just a small spoonful of butter. Okay, so we're gonna set the stove to 5, so medium heat. And we're going to add the butter. You don't need too much because the sausages have a lot of juices and fats already in it. We just want a little bit of butter, move it around to make sure the meat doesn't stick. Okay, so we're gonna put the meat in. So, whoops, making a mess. Okay, I'm just going to get got myself a spatula. Okay, now we're just going to let this cook. Alright, so we got our sausages about 3/4 of the way cooked. You don't want to cook them 100% all the way because we're going to stuff them in the mushrooms, and then we're going to bake them in the oven, and that'll finish the last bit to fully cook them with the stuffing. So there we are. Okay, so now we're going to add to the mixture. Okay, so I've got my meat mixture here transferred from the pan into the bowl. Something that I should have mentioned earlier is when you're transferring your meat, make sure that you separate it from the excess juices so you don't have your meat swimming in the excess fats and oils and stuff. Okay, so here we are with our meat mixture. Now we're going to add it to the mixture that was in the fridge, like so. It's still quite hot. Okay, and now we're just going to mix it together. Here we go. Oh, it smells so good, guys. The onions and the sausage and the spices. Like I said before, I'd love to add a little bit of hot sauce to it, but this is just as good. Okay, so now we're getting a more of a thicker texture. There we go. Yeah, so this is step 8. Should have mentioned that too. There we go. We just want to evenly get it all mixed together, the two mixtures, the meat and the breading. Okay guys, so now we're on step 9. We're almost to the finish line here. Get your pan with your tin foil in it and get your mushrooms and place them inside. Like so. kind of glad. These are really big mushrooms. Sometimes you get really tiny ones like this. I might try and pick as much as the bigger ones out first. There we go. There we are. A couple more. That one. There we go. Okay, so now we have our mushrooms, and with the mixture, I'm just going to move this candle out of the way. The mixture, and start scooping the mixture into the mushrooms. Kind of push them down too. You don't want it to move around too much. There we go. Oh, this looks so good, guys. There we go. Might be a little messy, but that's okay. Okay, so okay, so I've done 3 so far. I'm just gonna finish and come back. Okay, so my mushrooms are stuffed. Don't they look good, guys? All right, so now we're on to step 10, the last one of the last steps. We're going to take our cheese and we're just going to sprinkle on top. Try and keep your mushrooms together, just so they can get the cheese mixture mostly on them instead of in between the gaps. There we go. Oh, this is gonna be so good, guys. Okay, these guys are having the smaller ones have a harder time holding cheese. There we go. That's why the bigger the better when it comes to these mushrooms. Okay, let's just take some there. There. Oops. Use all your cheese. There we go. And now we move on to step 11. So let's go back to the kitchen. All right, so we're back in the kitchen. Okay, so we're gonna take our stuffed mushrooms and we're gonna put it in our oven. Like so. Use your gloves. Get some help if you're young from an adult. And we're just gonna put them in nicely. And you're gonna wait now for about 20 to 25 minutes. Around the 20-minute mark, I'd say just take a look inside and see if the cheese has got a nice crispy look on the top. And when you see that, then you know they're done, okay? Alright guys, so we're here at the home stretch. Now we're just gonna check on them. They smell really, really good, guys. Hoping these are gonna turn out. I'm just gonna take a look. And yes, the tops have a little darker brown cheese. That's how you know that they're crisp on the top. So, yeah, I put them in for 22 minutes. So I said, depending on your oven, it could be 20 to 25 minutes. So 22 minutes for mine. And they are looking crisp and good. Alright guys, so here's the end result. It looks really, really good. But now I'm going to do the taste test and see if it actually turned out really well. It's really good, guys. I think I did better than last year. Anyway, guys. Sorry. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely try this recipe. They're great just as hors d'oeuvres. Or on the side. or sorry, as a side dish, whatever you want to do. Also, you don't have to put the meat in if you have vegetarians in your family. You can just have the stuffing mix. Again, I said earlier you can put some hot sauce if you want it a little spicy. But anyway, it is a really, really good just to have at your Christmas parties. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a really nice Christmas Eve, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys!